Coming up on today's show, we have some special guests as we report on a recent trip report I took to Walt Disney World, and I met up with a few of my friends. That's coming up today on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everyone, to Traveling with the Mouse. This is episode 406. I am your host. I am Jason, and I am joined, as always, by my esteemed co-hosts. First, we have Adam.
What's up, everybody?
How are you doing tonight, Adam?
Excellent.
Excellent.
I'm excited to hear about this trip.
I know it's been a few weeks, and I'm ready to report in on it. Had to recover. Took me a while.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. And in addition to Adam, we also have John.
I am here today. Yes. I have no quips. I have nothing prepared. I barely made it here.
Yes,
Barely?
you did. We were waiting on you.
I know.
It's okay. It's okay. We only gave you 2 weeks to come up with a quip, John. That's all.
I know. I didn't know if we were ever going to do this again.
Yeah. And speaking of John, you have a trip coming up, right?
I do.
When do you leave?
I will be leaving Sunday.
Okay. So when this comes out, you will be at Walt Disney
there.
World.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get a little bit of a preview. And then the following week, Adam and I will be there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the goal of today's episode. Today, we're bringing in a couple of special guests. Someone I work with and her husband. We have Celia and Neil. Welcome, Celia and Neil.
Hey, hello.
Glad to be here. I feel like I should train my own podcast voice. You all have such great introductions.
You're doing well.
You've got a great
you.
podcast voice already. So
We're on episode 406, so we've kind of got it down to a routine at this point.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah. Celia and I work together at Greenlight. As people who listen to the show know, this is one of our sponsors of our podcast, and we just so happen to be down there at the same time. I'm kind of known at the company for talking about Disney a little too much, maybe.
Well, you did start
would
the
you
Disney
say that's
Channel.
accurate, Celia?
in our Slack, so yeah.
Yes. Yes. So she asked for some advice for their, I
That's
guess it was your
correct.
first
Yeah.
anniversary,
Yeah.
right? That's what you were saying?
Yeah.
congrats.
Awesome. Congratulations. I said, I could do you better. I'll give you some tips, but I'll actually be there. So we got to spend a couple of days together, and I got to meet Neil, who is your husband, and as we probably gathered, your first anniversary is who you're celebrating with. So it was a pretty fun trip. I don't know. Let's see. You started off, though, at Universal, right? So now that you had your 2 days at Disney, you might have a little bit different. But, how was Universal to start off your trip?
So I'll
do anything
briefly summarize.
exciting
Yes, we
there?
did Universal. I'm Harry Potter fans. We did the Harry Potter parks, and it was a good time, but
Yeah.
in no way compared to Disney World at all.
Well, once you stepped out of the Harry Potter circle, it was like a chaotic nightmare that we just scurried back into the safe, curated part of the park. But yeah, it was yeah, I think we had a fun
Good
time, and it was kind of a lot like this trip where we did a lot. I feel like with the time that we had, really there one afternoon or one day, really one full day.
Yeah. So with all these parks combined, we did 6 parks in 3 days. So it was a busy trip,
Wow.
but it was fun. I got picked for a wand
In
at
3 days.
Ollivanders, and
Wow.
that was probably the highlight. But I'm glad we did it first, because
cool.
if we ended on it, I think we would have been very
I would have been so upset.
Nice.
Well,
Well, that's good to hear.
Adam and I are holding out, but I think we're going to have to give in next year and go. We keep saying it.
Yeah, we will.
Which will be particularly painful for Adam.
Yes, I'm the last holdout for sure.
He doesn't want to admit that Universal has anything good, or Comcast at least anyway.
Well, yeah, me and Comcast have a long relationship that goes, it's not a good one. But John, aren't you going to Universal next week?
That's part of
did
the
you-
plan. I don't have
Okay.
a real solid plan, but that's part of
Okay.
the plan to go there at least one day. I've been there before though.
Right.
It's been a while.
You're the more frequent of us to go, but
But you also frequent some of the other parks too. I mean, you've been to like the Legoland park, and
Yeah.
SeaWorld.
yeah.
We took the kids to the Peppa Pig one last year, actually. almost exactly a year ago with Fairyland Legoland.
Right.
So yeah, I've kind of
You go all
Well,
around.
I've kind of visited more.
But Disney, of course, is the,
Usually
our
the
favorite.
constant.
Yeah.
It is the primary draw. But with 6 parks in 3 days, you'll have to go back into our catalog and listen to Nathan Firesheets, who did 12 Disney parks in 12 days. You're getting onto his level.
Hey, we're halfway there.
All around
Yeah,
the world.
yeah,
So that'll be your
Watch out,
Yeah.
Nathan Firesheets. Here we come.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we had this plan, and I would say you told me you had 2 days, and my concern was I was going to be a third wheel on your first anniversary, but I think we ended up, I think it ended up working out pretty well, because you got to do everything you wanted to do, and you just had to go where I said,
Yeah.
which is kind
I
of
will
how
say
we
from
do
my perspective,
our
not knowing
tours.
you prior, I was like, "Are you sure?" But after about an hour, and the things that we had done in an hour, first hour, I was like, "All right, we're gonna keep this rolling."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we were both like, oh, we'll spend like the morning of the first day, and then we'll go off on our own. And then, we were like, no, he has to stay. We we hope that you want to get tired of us, because we were following you around like little baby ducklings, and follows a mother duck all the way everywhere.
Yeah.
Made it so easy. It made it was a magical time, and I think if we had been without you, we would have had a lot more
Frustration, yeah.
frustration and lines for sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
stayed
Just on
off
the Hilton
property, right?
yeah.
You were staying. Yeah. So you were not going to get early entry, but I was also going to talk about this because I stayed in a campsite, which is one of our first times staying in a tent site. And because I had a tent site, I was able to link up with them and add them to my campsite, even though you didn't want to sleep out under the stars with me. That's fine. I get it. But you still got the benefit of the early entry that comes with the campsite, which was pretty nice. So I'll talk a little bit about that. I arrived the day y'all were at Universal, got my tent site set up, and if you go to Fort Wilderness, there's only one circle that has like the tents, and then everything else is like RVs. But it was crowded. Of course, it was Memorial Day weekend, so a lot of people were there. I still saw, even though they were sold out, a few people never showed up with a tent. So I think there's still some people that just book the sites for the perks and never actually come.
I have
there.
no doubt.
That's pretty smart.
It's the
That is
cheapest thing you can
Yeah,
get. Just
Yeah.
to get that. I mean, you're paying $100 a day, or what was it? 100.
It was I think it was
wasn't
$110 a day for
110.
me to have that, which was
to get
still,
the perk.
but that's like probably the most expensive it ever gets because it's Memorial Day weekend. And the weather was great too. I mean, in the nighttime, it got down in the 60s. I slept really well, but the tent site's clean. They like rake the gravel. It's like pristine when you show up.
Right.
Polishing
That's the
the dirt.
cleanest campsite I've ever seen. The pictures you sent.
Yeah.
Like, how does it compare to any campsite you've been to?
Well, I go to Stone Mountain quite a bit, and it's a lot nicer. The only thing it's missing is, a fire pit, but you're supposed to bring your own fire pits. Like they have like rules for that. What I noticed though is I was one of the only people I think that went to the parks that was camping. The people around me, I talked to like my neighbor, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't been to the parks in years. Too crowded." He's like, "We're gonna go to Typhoon Lagoon tomorrow, but other than that, we're just hanging out at the campsite." He was up from Miami.
Wow.
He's like, "We just come up here and camp. And that's it."
Fascinating.
So, and every night when we got back, we'll talk about how late we were out. When I got back, all the kids were still awake. Right, they were all around on their scooters. People were like playing music, like on a guitar and singing.
Wow.
It's like the campsites didn't die down to like 2 a.m. And then I would get up at 6:30 and start pulling fast lightning lanes at 7 a.m. and I'd be out of there before anybody was awake. So,
Wow. It's a whole different world over there.
I know it's a little bit slow. But before I met up with them, I did do a night at Magic Kingdom. I was able to stack a bunch of lightning lanes. I got to basically ride, I forget everything I wrote, but I did get to ride Tron. I did get to ride like Thunder and, Mansion. I got to, like, the whole way down I was driving, I stacked lightning lanes, got to ride the boat over. It was really nice. I was on Big Thunder when Happily Ever After went off, so that was pretty cool.
It's always fun.
Yeah. That was a good start to the day to get the pacing going. And then, to Celia and Neil's credit, when we tell people that you're going to come on a day with us, we say, you want to be there at rope drop, we give a time, we make a plan for people
Yeah.
who show up at the time we say, and an hour later time, and we are flexible. And to your credit, you were there at the time I said. So how
Getting
was
there
all
was
that?
good.
It
getting
was
there?
great. You know, one thing I didn't, so we like were debating whether to rent a car or not, and like, oh, what do we do for off-site? But it was super easy to get lifts everywhere, both to Universal and at Disney World, especially Disney World. It was so easy to get lifts. I think the hardest time was
Yeah.
we were going to Magic Kingdom on the second day, and you're at the transportation center, and we were not like, I was like, oh, where is this? And but especially like Epcot, oh man, like right to the door, we just pulled up. It was awesome, and they were
Yeah.
so cheap, and we were all the way by the convention center. It was a no-brainer to get the lifts.
Yeah, and we were relieved. We were relieved
Hmm.
about that too, because the hotel we had bought allegedly had shuttles that took you to all of the parks, but it didn't.
It did not. That was a lie. It was on the website. It was very
Oh,
weird.
gosh.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with Lyft, you can schedule your
Huh.
Lyft ahead of time now. So we got back from Harry Potter World around like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Got settled in. I took an hour nap, woke up at midnight so I could buy the Genie Pass, just because I wanted to not lose the opportunity in the event something horrible would happen. Fell asleep, scheduled my Lyft for
Right.
7:30 or something, and then hopped right on
Yeah.
the next morning. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which I know you were very worried about us pulling lightning lanes and boarding groups because we were going to Epcot that first day. And I think I had texted you by 7:01 a.m. and I had said, we have boarding group 1 for Guardians. We have a 9 a.m. test track. And I've also booked a 5 p.m. Rise of the Resistance lightning
Yeah.
lane as well. So, and we had booked a second Guardians because I bought individual lightning
No, we
lanes
did
at
Guardians
as
once.
well.
We did
we do it
Tron
I can't
twice
remember.
the next day.
Yeah, that's right. We did Guardians once, and then I bought the
Yeah, I
The
remember
Rise of the
my alarm went
Resistance.
off
So,
at
yeah.
6:59 a.m. I like groggily rolled over, grabbed my phone, opened up my app, and then I got a text from you like 30 seconds later saying it was all done.
Yeah.
30 seconds later. It took that long? What's up, Jason? You're slipping.
Well, I was buying the ILL for
those
Rise.
takes a minute.
and
Yeah.
it takes a minute to go through their slow app to buy all that stuff, right?
Right.
So we arrive at Epcot. It's I guess it opened at 9, right? So, but we were there
Mhm.
at 8:30 for the early entry. And I think our first stop was where did we go first? Do you remember? That's right.
I was gonna
That was
say
what we
it's-
wrote.
It's got to be either Frozen or
Ratatouille,
Remy's because you had the test track already. So.
Right. Right. And we got to go through the standby line, which I really enjoy on Frozen. I don't know. It's one of the few standby lines you got to see, but you got to see Oaken's sauna, which is
Mhm.
fun.
It's the only way you get to see it. Is
We
if
thought
you
it was
stand
funny.
there.
It was the first thing in the morning, and you
Yep.
go into the inside the standby line, and it's
It looks like night.
nighttime. And it was like, oh wait, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
You got a good intro ride, I think. That was a good one to start with. Then we went over to Test Track, and that was you got to design your car, and I think we ended up
we were
Coming
we were
close
close
to
to top
top
of the day. I
on
think
that.
too.
Yeah, in my mind, we won
Yeah,
because we definitely had the coolest
Wow.
car. But
we were like 15 points off, I think. From
Wow. Were you more
really, it was just focused on the
efficiency,
design. Yeah,
power?
we had
Like
a
what was your
the design looks like a long hot dog that was purple
Aerodynamic?
with yellow stars. But lots of like accessories that were way too big for the frame of the car, really. But I think we just went for the points when we were adding them.
I was going to say,
Uh,
I don't think I ever paid attention
Yeah.
to the specs. I'm like, that looks good. Let's go.
right?
That's
I usually end up
that's
with
the way I
way
do
too
it.
much of one.
I was designer, and Jason and Neil
Yeah.
were adding
Yeah.
up the various
Anyway.
points behind me, like shouting, like that one's worth 3, that one's worth 2, and so I just let them decide at that point. So
Nice.
that's where you got to see the first part of my push, because I'm like, we're gonna get to this pinch point, and you got to move. Like, you
yeah, that's
gotta
when we
know where to
started going.
stand, you
Okay, we're
gotta know
gonna
where to
sit
go.
by this door, and I mean, we get in front of 50 people. It's like, well, that would have really been a way to write a special
Right.
district.
yeah, truly. And you could tell
Especially
when
a
you were
test
like
track,
in
yeah.
the zone. Like you would like just wiggle up, and you'd like clearly go into a weird part of the room where no one else was standing, but we would follow you, and then you'd be the first to the door.
I've never seen someone go through that so politely as well. I don't think you weren't disrupting anybody.
Yep. Well, we've
Nice.
done the challenges before, so we
Yeah, let's say challenge though. You skip designing the car. You just go straight to the door. Just stand there for 3 minutes
yeah.
until it opens.
And try to pull fast pass. Oh wait, no, that was back in the day.
Well,
or on Rock and Roller
single
Coaster.
rider is always a good choice on test track. It's basically a walk-on these days, but yeah. And then I would say one of my favorite moments was going to Guardians with you all, because the
Such a great
second
ride.
pre-show room, that's when I saw Neil and how much you appreciate Disney Magic. So that teleport, I mean,
Oh.
I
your
was
jaw was
fully
on the
tricked
floor.
for about
Yeah.
20 seconds, but yeah, it was awesome. That was really a great magic moment.
It's a good effect.
It's amazing
Yeah,
how
I mean,
fast
exactly.
they do it,
That's
though,
why I
right?
was so.
I didn't imagine that travel from Earth up into space would be that quick by any means, you know?
Well, I was thinking on this one. I hadn't really
Yeah.
thought this through. Nowhere in any of the Marvel universe have they ever actually teleported, and yet that ride introduced teleportation
Like a
in the
beam me up.
Marvel canon.
There is a
Nobody?
character in Marvel that is all
was trying to
about
think.
teleportation portals. Like, I believe he's an X-Men.
No, it's Nightcrawler.
Yeah, he
He
does.
teleports. Well, he teleports.
Yeah. And then I guess the Doctor Strange guys can like make the little circles that you walk through.
Yeah, through like
Right.
worlds.
Jump
But-
points.
Yeah, jump points.
I just
Either way,
So did you go all the way to the door on that one as soon as the pre-show
did.
started?
I did. Yes.
like, go to
I
the
told
right.
them,
Just
come
stood
stand
there.
right here. Come
Yeah.
stand right here. We'll be ready.
That gets you in front of a lot of people.
I mean, what were your thoughts on
it was
Guardians? I
awesome.
just want to hear it.
I love that. No, I love that the coaster had they like turned like right, like the pods that you were in like were all spinning with
Yeah.
each other, and it was very
Yeah.
very fun. It was so smooth too. We did back to Universal for a second. We did the Incredible Hulk, and I never wanted to go on a roller coaster again after doing that one because it was so rough. But Guardians was so fun and so smooth.
Yeah, I felt like it was both extremely thrilling, but also like accessible to just about anybody. I feel like it was a very accessible, like high thrill coaster. Like I wouldn't, because there wasn't like, I mean, there was drops, but it wasn't like you're not seeing it, so you're in for the ride, and there's kind of music
Yeah.
to
The music was so fun.
distract you. But they do a really good job of
Yeah.
having you
They did
focus on a
conga.
point so that you're not getting
Oh, conga.
dizzy
I'm
on
sorry.
it. I think that is.
Yeah, I had conga stuck in my head for at least 2 or 3 hours after that.
Yeah,
Nice.
there you go.
Yeah, the soundtrack is good. Yeah, it's my favorite by far that they've done. And it's nice and long compared to, say,
Yeah.
Tron, but we'll get to that.
I was going to say right quick, I think it's funny that they mentioned Hulk like that because I was thinking a decade ago now when I was last at Universal, and that was the coaster I went on, and that after I got off it, I was thinking, I'm not quite the thrill seeker I once was.
Yeah.
After that, I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know if I want to do
It
this
wasn't
one
even
again.
the drops that scared me. It was the fact that I
Right.
felt my head was going to fall from my body on the rock.
That is one of the most, if not the most intense roller coasters in the state of Florida.
I'm relieved to
I
hear
don't know
that.
what
I
it
thought
is.
I was just something was wrong.
I do. I'm a big roller coaster guy, and I don't
Wow.
even think like
Yeah.
height or loops or anything is that intense. It's just that it vibrates, and then it vibrates your head and it hurts. Like it's just brutal.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's been redone.
yeah.
So
But Guardians, impeccable.
Wow.
And it's still at work. 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Which, by
Loved
the
it.
way, we'll maybe get to the news later. But speaking of Guardians, they're starting to install outdoor queues, so we may be getting rid of virtual queues soon. It may be standby, so maybe coming
Yeah.
soon.
yeah, it seems like they're heading that way. They're already doing it for the special events, which I do have
Yeah.
one of those coming up. So
We'll have to get a report on that one.
Yeah.
That's going to be good.
But as far as
Oh.
virtual queues go, Guardians is probably the smoothest one they've ever had as far as how good that.
Well, it's got the good
moves.
capacity. It keeps
Yeah.
it moving, unlike Rise that broke down all the time and Tron.
Yeah.
After that, though, we went over because, Neil, you were really excited about Mission Space. And I said, do y'all want to do green or
Mhm.
orange? And y'all picked orange. We picked orange.
Wow. Back to back, Guardians and then that.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
Mission Space. I think it's
After
a
Test
fantastic
Track, too.
ride.
I was going to say, did
I
either
was
of them
okay.
make you a little
I was
nauseous?
nervous. I'd never
Queasy?
done it before, so
Really?
I was like, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But it was great. I just remember the biggest sensation I
Cool.
remember was trying to lift my hand up to press the button and feeling the resistance against my arm. just from the air, I guess, from the spinning. That's all I remember, but it was really cool.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
It was interesting though on that one. We stood outside and we like did a bathroom break because it was posted like 40 or 50 minutes for orange. And I was like, oh, I'll get a lightning lane right away. And we had to wait like 10 minutes for our window to open. It's like, oh, we'll just get some stuff done and then go in. And then when we walked in, it was a walk-on. I don't know why they had it posted 40. Like there was no line.
Weird. They were
Get the hype
anticipating
up,
a wait, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. That was weird from an operation standpoint. But, you know, I this is now the second time I've taken folks on a tour, and that's like one of the opening segments is sort of get the big thrills out at Epcot and then move yourself into, you know,
Drinking.
the food
I
and
was
drink.
definitely glad that I think we'd had one drink. You and I split like you had a tea with a shot in it or something. So I was glad we had not had more before doing that, though. I think that would have been a very different story for sure.
So
Yeah.
we did the Orange Tree Terrace stuff, you know, in the pavilion area, like the you know what I'm talking about, the tempura
baked
shrimp
brie.
and
Yeah. It's
the
good.
orange flip. Yeah, the brie.
Mhm.
I showed them trial and trellis, so you got to try the impossible short ribs, which I don't think you would have thought
I
about.
would say
but
that was some of the
it's a
best.
great lunch.
That was one of the best dishes.
The display was great too. It looked nice too.
And I would have never ordered it. So
Yeah. It was
Neil
good, though.
was a tea guy, so I introduced him to that
that was good
alcoholic
too.
tea.
Right. Your favorite. Nice.
And after that, after a few things, we met up actually with Kendall from Every Ride, Kendall Mullins. She joined us for a little while, and we went to the Mexico Pavilion. And I bet you know, there's lots of options for margaritas, but I bet you can't guess which one I took them to. I'll give you one guess, Adam.
For margaritas? Where do you get margaritas at Epcot? I don't remember. La Cava?
That's right.
The best place ever?
The Cave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was pretty awesome. Which I got the avocado. I forget.
Well, I got the
C Lady,
avocado,
which ones did
and
y'all
Neil
get?
accidentally got one with
I
mezcal,
had the wrong one.
which is when he just does not do mezcal anymore. So we flip flopped. I had his, he had mine. The avocado was definitely the best one though of the two. Yours was good too, but it was very good.
I didn't.
That
I
was
think
the
you
best.
ordered the Diablo. I think you were. I
Yeah,
was
and
trying to
that's the
get you
one
to
he
order
meant
the
to order.
Dragones.
That's what I meant to
and you
order.
went up
and
there.
I
Top
started
shelf,
with a
yeah.
D, and then I went Diablo, and then I got the wrong one. So
We also did a round of shots.
and they were healthy.
So-
Those were
Oh,
not. They did
wow.
not skimp on the shots. So
No. They don't skip on anything at La Cava. Yeah. What was it? We were doing something and we were just reading the ingredients for like the corn old fashioned, and it has like 5 different liquors in it or something. And we're like, wow, no wonder I like that one. It's
Yeah.
funny.
So after a few of those, of course,
Grand
we have to
Fiesta
do
tour?
Grand Fiesta tour.
Yeah.
I
Right.
liked it too.
That's what you
I thought
got
it
to
was
do.
cool.
It's always better after La Cava, so yeah, makes it more fun.
We'll call it the Grand Fiesta Tipsy Tour.
Mm,
Is that the name?
it's an
Yeah, the
interesting
Grand-
trademark.
It is a tipsy tour for sure. So, so Kendall was there with us, so she got to ride
Mhm.
that one with us as well, which was fun. So she got to join in on at least a ride.
Did you
um,
sing?
Of course, I sang.
I figured, yeah.
Of course, I sang. Right.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
There were
That's
3
the whole
happy
point.
chappies.
So I think we are 3 caballeros here, right? So obviously Adam is Donald, right?
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
his-
I get it. Yeah. The
Yes.
temper.
Yes.
and he's Adam. That's his favorite character, right?
Yes.
So, you know, am I Jose or Panchito?
That's a good question.
one of mine?
don't
I
know.
thought you were Panchito, and it doesn't even.
Adam,
I
you-
thought he said he was Jose. I can't remember the difference, honestly. I should.
Okay, we should just look tab here.
I think John's gonna be Panchito. Let's
I gotta
make him
be Panchito?
Panchito. Yeah, and I'll be
Yeah, I don't
Jose
know.
Carioca.
Yeah, we got to think about that one. Maybe we should do a Twitter poll on that one.
Yeah, which one?
I like that.
Adam, yeah, which one of us? And then that'll be our Halloween costume this year. We'll have to figure out a way to
Okay.
get together. So then you got to get the World Showcase. What was your highlights of what you
Well,
liked
I
in the World
remember,
Showcase?
I can't remember
Do
the
you
name of the
remember?
area, but the where we had the frozen julep,
Yeah,
frozen mint
that was a
julep
really
was
great
great.
drink.
And then Mickey came out, and we got to see Mickey.
Ooh.
Right? Was that in the showcase?
Yeah, that
Is
was
that-
in the America
World-
Pavilion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that
Does that
America
count as a World
alleyway.
Showcase? I don't
Yeah.
know the difference. I went to many countries.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it is.
that's so.
Yeah.
It's yes,
Yeah,
yeah. It was America and the Regal Eagle
Yeah.
walk-up
Yes.
bar. You got the mint julep.
And that was great. We were
Oh,
sitting
right.
there, and then all the characters all came out, and we got to see Mickey, which was great because on our honeymoon a year prior, we had gone to Disneyland, and they're very strict with Mickey.
Super strict to Mickey.
We got in line
Yeah,
behind like the
people
12th person, and they said absolutely not. Well, they didn't say that way, but they're like, Mickey has other places to be. I'm so sorry. You'll have to see him another time. And this time we got to see Mickey. We took a picture with Mickey.
Oh, dang.
The
Nice.
Character
Yes.
Palooza Mickey. No less.
and then we went to Japan. Was
I like
great.
it when they
Yeah.
do that.
I love the frozen beer. Why is
Mm.
that not everywhere? Like, I think it's so fun.
Yes.
Yeah. You had been
That's
hyping,
Jason's
and you'll have been
thing
telling me about it for
every
like
time.
a week, 2 weeks prior. About it has to have this beer, and it's going to be so
I
good.
almost want to buy a slushing machine at home. with beer in it.
I guess
Yeah.
it lived up to
It
the
was
hype
good.
then.
It was solid.
It was great. And then where else did we go?
Nice.
I think at that point we were feeling pretty good. You got to
Pretty
shop in Japan store for a
Mhm.
little bit. I think at that
That's
point
good.
we were
Yep.
feeling
And
we
then
were
we went
feeling a
to
little
London.
toasty. It was a nice time.
Let's get some more.
Yeah. Oh, you went to
Yes,
Rose and Crown, right? Didn't I hear
We
that?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got a pint.
Got a pint?
I still don't know how in the
Got
pint
a
we
pint.
had
There.
like in the foam there was like a shamrock like traced in the foam, and I never saw. I like watched them do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
They just poured it from the tap, and I don't know how they did that. That was another magic moment for me. But also I was pretty toasted, so it was.
It's like you'd have been
Maybe you were
amazed by
just
Well, the
seeing
other thing
things.
we haven't mentioned about the
Yeah.
whole World Showcase at Epcot was what was the festival? It was a floral festival, Flower and Garden, and there were
Flower and Garden,
topiaries
Flower
of
Garden.
all of the
Flower.
characters everywhere.
Really fantastic.
It was amazing. I liked the Lady and the Tramp topiaries the best, or the Tiana one.
Yeah, that's the new one this year. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's a really good one.
what else? I know we did so many things, and of course, I loved the Ratatouille ride. I loved it. I loved when you get to be in the cart, and then they brush something and you get wet. And I was like, I felt like a real rat, which was just the dream.
Nice.
I think it's always
Yeah.
cool anytime they try to make you like
Yeah.
shrink down to the size of something and you get to see that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah. When they're the final scene in the kitchen, that's just smelling all the food is my favorite part.
Does it make you
Love
hungry, Adam?
Yes.
Go to the creperie afterwards. Get a crepe.
Yeah. Anything at that point. That's really good.
That's probably part of the strategy.
Well, that's why in Paris, it's like the restaurant's right there at the exit.
There you go.
Now, I will say, as I was pulling all these, we did lightning lanes, of course. But for Memorial Day weekend, it was
Yeah.
not bad. I mean, I
No,
only had to
not
pull for
bad.
3, but when we were still in World Showcase, I was going ahead and pulling ahead for Hollywood Studios because we were going to hop over there.
Mhm.
And Slinky Dog, I didn't even use like a drop time or anything like that. It was just still available
Wow.
when I went
That's
to go
impressive.
get it. It was just there. So it was not that bad at all.
What about Ratatouille? Did you have to wait for that?
I didn't use a
Drop-
drop time for that
you
one
grabbed
either.
it.
I was able to just know that when I needed to pull it and I could time about how long I thought it would take us to get around World Showcase. We timed it
Really?
well.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
not normal.
It's actually been busier since then, or at least it seems to be. The wait times have definitely gone up.
Did you have to modify?
No,
It also was
didn't.
beautiful weather the
Wow.
whole time too.
Yeah, it was perfect
That's-
weather.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
It's funny you should say that about the wait times because it was just like, 3 or 4 days ago when I checked, and there was like at least like about 6 to 8 attractions that reached triple digits at some point in the day. It's ridiculous.
Which ones were they? Do you remember? Oh, I'm curious.
Well, the usual like Rise and Seven
Slinky.
Doors Mine Train did at one point. Rockin' did at one point. I think even Tower did at one point. Was in the triple digits. Slinky. I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't know if it's because they're trying to do a whole capacity experiment or what, as far as how they run it. But
Well, there's days where Hollywood Studios just gets busy, in general.
Yeah, but I don't think they're running full out either. That's
I wonder
my
if-
thinking.
I think schools let out after Memorial Day. I wonder if it's like school field trips or something. It just there's
Yeah,
Could be.
the Northeast.
I'm trying to determine
Especially.
if the parks are actually busier or if they are doing their own little reduction and they're
Sure.
taking it too far. As far as
Yeah,
as far as
because I
capacity.
feel like they maybe anticipated a higher crowd
Sure.
for Memorial Day that didn't show up. So,
Yeah.
and so they were running everything full out, right?
I
Because
forgot
I
to.
mean, even when we went to Animal Kingdom, which we'll get to on the next day, like every cart was open, and that's not always the case.
What was Genie Plus? Was it 25? Was 25 that weekend. They tried to
we bought
inflate the
it for
price still.
I think we did.
22 the first day. The second day was 24, 25.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
think
it's
Yeah.
still better than the spring break. I had to pay $39 a day on spring break. It's
Dude.
ridiculous.
I think
Yeah,
it's
the
running
spring break was the
23,
worst.
24 right now, right? Still.
Yeah, it was 23 a day. So anyway, that's probably what it'll be when we're back there in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it'll probably be 23, 24. It'll be great. It'll be so much fun. You just wake up and you spend a few $100s before
That's
you
the
even get
Disney
out of bed.
way.
That's
So
the
much
yeah.
I know. Right. Spend away your problems. Yeah.
Yep. So we skylinered over, and I mean, we're gonna have. I won't say where we land. You did both the Skyliner and the monorail. Do you have a preference
Skyliner
between the
for
two?
sure. Yeah.
That's
For your trip.
Yeah.
Now I
It's
do
more
have
modern
like
now.
fond memories of the monorail as a
Really?
kid, but the only time we did the monorail was when it was jam packed with people at the end of the night. So
Oh, right. Yeah.
You never have that
No.
problem
No.
on a Skyliner.
it was just the four of us though when we went. It was
Could
great.
be packed,
Depends.
You know.
Yeah. It's that like elevator awkwardness when you're paired with somebody else you don't know. You're like,
It's
do I
very
say
long ride.
something
Long
to
ride,
them?
yeah.
Like-
It was not
Yeah.
that short.
right.
You know,
It's like a 20-minute elevator
Ugh.
ride.
I don't know. I don't usually
You're
have
on
that
the
problem.
Epcot line. Yeah, I'm saying. With the monorail, you expect it to be people in there. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
But then you have the mildew smell from the air conditioning of the monorail because they're 35-year-old monorail trains. But I still have a soft spot for the monorail.
Adam is the only monorail
I'm the holdout, yeah.
enthusiast. He's the holdout. The rest of us
Yeah.
think the Skyliner is fantastic.
And I love the
beats monorail.
Skyliner. Don't
You
get me
love it.
wrong. But I still like the monorail better.
Adam has an affinity for mildew and BO, apparently.
Okay, maybe it's just the nostalgia, but sure. Could be that too.
I think Kendall had to leave a little bit. So what we did is instead of doing rides right away, we did go to Baseline. So you got to see
It's our other spot.
another one of our favorites.
Yeah,
the rope
Best
drop
sure.
deal on beer.
it had, I think, some of the best
property.
prices, and it wasn't even crowded.
And they had a flight, which was great. So we got to try different things.
Yeah.
Yep. You
Yeah,
said
that
Mike was there, didn't you?
Yeah, Mike was there,
Yeah.
although he wasn't my bartender, but
Oh,
still,
okay.
we did get
Mike's
to see
a good guy.
Mike. We always like Mike as a
And then you were like,
bartender.
hey, Mike, who are you? That's good.
He's good.
He
though.
doesn't. He
Not
doesn't
kidding.
remember us. I don't think we don't go enough.
It's not like
for him
Burbus.
to remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think at that point is when
Well, we had
Kendall
the
had to
Muppet
go,
Show
though.
before she
So
had
we
to
got to
leave.
get back to. Oh yeah, that's right. We did the Muppet Show. I forgot about. I
We
had
all
a
did.
lot to
We
do,
all
3D.
did.
so that was probably
There's-
that was probably
Yeah,
my
yeah.
peak right there. That was
I don't
from
think
there
we
on.
did
I was
after
on my
that.
I think
ride
that was
down,
the last.
We were like, we're good.
Was it though? Did we continue?
I don't remember.
No,
I don't.
but
You
we
did,
did go to
yes,
Oga's
we did.
Cantina
Oh,
eventually.
That was the
let's
next
say-
day.
No, that was later than
Oh, you're right, because I was in Epcot.
Wow. Brown Derby Lounge is another good spot at Hollywood Studios, but
We didn't end up going to Brown Derby Lounge.
Yeah.
We did go to Oga's though. So
nice.
so Muppet Show was awesome.
I do love that. Was one of my
That's always a
favorite
fun
things as
time.
a kid was sitting on the Muppet Show. A, because it was air conditioned, but I also just love the Muppets. So I'm glad we got to do that.
yeah.
There you go. Good. Muppet fan.
So we that's one of the news articles that came out this week is there was a rumor that they were considering retheming Rock and Roller Coaster into the Muppets, and one of the original Imagineers confirmed that this is one of the original pitches was to do a Muppets themed coaster for
Well,
that one.
It was to do an Electric Mayhem themed, like Dr.
Yeah.
Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Oh, right. I see.
Yeah.
It seems a little intense for a like Muppet coaster, but
see it. I would,
But-
I would accept. I could see it. I would accept it.
yeah.
I think
They
it's
just need more Muppets. The only Muppets they have left
Right.
is
I
that
think-
and Regal Eagle.
I
Right?
think it's more acceptable than the what was it, Jason, the Iron Man / whoever or what coaster you did in Paris.
that was
that
Light
retheme.
Force or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they called it.
Yeah. And then, if I remember correctly, I got to remember our path. I had pulled quite a bit. We ended up going to
Yeah,
Star
I think
Wars
that's
Land
right, yeah.
next, right? After
We did
Gondola.
Rise and we did
Yeah.
the what is
Yeah.
it called?
Millennium Falcon.
Yes, Millennium Falcon.
the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. What was? Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all had
yeah,
done
yeah.
Rise at Disneyland.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask that.
Okay.
I was just
Did
so
Was it as
impressed
good as you
that
remembered?
Galaxy's Edge, almost brick by brick, was exactly the same. Like they just took the blueprint.
But bigger, a little bit more spread out.
Oh, it was really close. Like spatially, it was all the same.
very
so
similar.
it was kind of weird to be like, wasn't I was here, but not here. And it's kind of this uncanny valley area, I felt like a little bit.
Yeah.
So
It was fun. I will say in Disneyland, the cast members on Rise are ruthless. They are
ruthless.
very,
They were
very
mean.
scary. In like a friendly enough way, but like convincing for sure.
They seemed much nicer.
Right. They have better actors out
But it was
there,
still
obviously.
great.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Nice.
So you did that. You did Falcon, which was fine. That was a good ride. I think it's good. We still have Hondo in B mode, which still makes me sad. Which is in the
Really?
pre-show, there's supposed to be a Hondo
Animatronic.
animatronic, but they're putting him on the screen, so we still have him in B mode.
Not
Yeah.
maintenance.
I was about to ask, was Kylo in A mode? Because apparently he's been in B mode a lot lately in Rise.
He was in A mode for us.
Okay.
You
What
got to
is
see
Kylo in
Kylo
B-mode even?
animatronic. So
Is
that
it
was
just
cool.
like a projection of Kylo?
At the very end, whenever he like pulls you
He's in
towards
his
the
TIE
track and all
fighter.
that, instead they turn the vehicles turn out like you're looking out of the ship, and he's in a
Oh.
TIE fighter. He's on the screen, just
Not
like
nearly as cool.
doing
No,
this
of course
thing.
not.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
interesting
screen.
though. They have a B mode. I mean, that's cool. They have a backup plan.
Yeah.
If an animatronic like that, if an animatronic like that needs repair or something, they'll put it in B mode for a
But
while.
it's been reported he's been in B mode a lot lately.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we did
Interesting.
that, and then I think the next was Runaway Railway,
yes.
which was again.
Neil, you liked
At
that one a
time.
lot, didn't you? Mickey Minnie,
Oh,
you
yeah.
talked about it a lot.
I
Yeah, I know. There's
It's
so
like I'm
many.
trying to
times.
remember.
What was
Yeah.
that?
I
Yeah.
thought that ride was a joy. I totally thought I felt like there was a little Disney magic when they, when the screen you kind of go into the cartoon, and I liked the queue. And
My most vivid memory was the scene where Daisy is teaching a ballet class, and they're going back. And we all started doing ballet arms
Oh,
with
right.
her. It was very fun,
Yeah,
very silly.
it
Yes.
felt very fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
got to
yeah.
be your second conga of the day
That's
because
true.
Daisy
It's true.
gets you to conga,
Yeah.
and you already.
hmm
Yeah.
My favorite detail in that scene is she's got a bottle of pond water next to her.
Oh
she?
my
I
gosh,
haven't
that's
noticed
so
that.
pond
funny.
water on the
She's
bottle.
a duck.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
It's like a water bottle with
There's so much going on in there, though. It's like you're probably
Oh,
going to learn
yeah.
something new just about every time if
There's
you really
definitely
pay
a ride I feel
attention.
like I could have rode a couple
Yeah.
of times to find little details in the scene and stuff. There, it was also well done. I thought. So.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
After that, I intentionally avoided taking you into Toy Story
Yeah,
Land
yeah.
because I know you hadn't
Yeah.
seen it before. So we then went into Toy Story Land because we had our all of our lightning lanes stacked up. So
So you
Sleeky Dog,
Yeah.
right, the
saw
main
first.
entrance, the woody side. Okay, got it.
The Woody side. We went in through the Woody side, and you got to go to Sleeky Dog Dash. And I think you really like all day you had been breezing through the line, but even that one you're like, and that's one of the ones where it's really fun to just be like,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're not
it was-
getting
it
in
was
that
like,
line?
oh, thank,
Yeah.
like, thank God we're not getting in that line.
Yeah.
It sounds like the rest of the day. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great to skip that one.
It was
Yeah.
so fun
Oh,
too. Another
man.
great coaster. When it bounces you at the end,
Yeah.
it just delightful.
I think that's such
Yeah.
a great entry.
And what was the
coaster.
thing that he says that's so
Um,
funny? It's on
Bienvenidos.
Bienvenidos.
Well, when he
Bienvenido
speaks
sounds
Spanish?
Sleek.
Yes.
Por favor.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I noticed, because y'all had never ridden it before, you didn't notice the part where you drop back into the second launch or the launch, right? And he's supposed to say, "Hang on." He didn't say it.
He didn't say hang on?
He
Okay.
didn't say, "Hang on."
Hang on.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
They didn't do that.
No.
What
It was
happened?
broken.
Everybody laughs.
B-mode?
Anytime I've been in that queue, though, everybody laughs whenever they hear the Spanish
Yeah.
speaking.
Bienvenidos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Por favor. Yes.
Yeah.
Por favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
That one has always been fun because it's like you look at it, you don't think it's much, but it's a lot more fun than you think when you first see it. It's a pleasant
What I loved
surprise.
about the whole
we'll put it
area
that
of
way.
that park was just
Yeah.
the attention to detail of everything and how they got so inventive with which toys are what part of the elements of that area of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that, granted, it was later in the day, you didn't get to experience. The biggest criticism is there is no shade, and so in the summer, it is about the temperature of the surface of the sun in that
Yeah.
land. Like for whatever reason, Toy
all
Story Land
concrete.
is.
Apparently, Andy's backyard has
That's a
no
deep
trees.
cut to the third movie where you think they're all going to end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I literally, one time I was in a challenge run in line for Slinky Dog trying to pull a fast pass, and my phone was like, I am too hot. And
Oh.
it's like,
It shut
stopped
off.
working. It shut off. It's like, please cool off the device. Like it was so hot.
Yeah.
Then we rode saucers, which I think y'all were a little skeptical that would be
like
fun,
that,
but
yeah.
if you
It
came off and
really-
y'all
it
were
really
kind of
slings
fans.
you. You know?
It's like, yeah, pretty hard. Yeah.
You don't
Yes, it
expect
does.
it to, and then it's like I think I was like, we were like, you know how they say you have to put a child like in the center or something if you have the two adults. I was like, I would have like an adult would just crush a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think we ever did that that way.
Yeah. It is fun though.
And then it was Toy Story Mania, which, you know, the shooting ride, which is always good. I think we did
Standard.
fine. Yeah, my
Just fine.
gun wasn't working that well. So
I think you had
to-
double the
but I
points
still
of the
think
two
I-
of
yeah.
us.
Everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Adam and I are starting to learn some of the tricks. He and I got to
Yeah.
ride together the last time we were together, and we've figured out how to like make the volcano explode with all the
Oh, wow.
balloons, and
Yes.
you know, there's a whole bunch of tricks to get. But
The rocket ship too is the one.
yeah, I didn't get to do all that on this one because you need two people that know what they're doing
Interesting.
to really make that work. Because you have to both get a bunch of stuff really
I remember
fast.
we were leaving. It was like
to
high
make it
score was
happen.
like 730,000 or something, and I was like, what? How?
Yeah.
They pull
I
off
don't
all of
know.
those tricks. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
Basically.
tricks to it, but it's not easy.
And then we did
Not easy.
Ogas.
Wow.
Right?
Super fun.
That was
You
good.
had the fun fact that Jason didn't know, right? About the DJ?
Oh, so it's the robot from
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Troopers.
Jason, you didn't know that?
Yeah,
No,
man,
I didn't.
It was,
we
it was a
discussed
very
that.
proud moment. I was like, oh,
Come
wait,
on.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
something that
Yeah.
Jason doesn't know.
That's a
Yeah, that was
throwback.
gosh, what's his name? I forgot the hit. What's
Rex.
his name?
I mean,
Rex,
I just
yes.
love the
Yeah.
cantina though. I think that really captures the magic when you get, just like walking up to the bar and just be like, it makes you.
Well, they did the fun thing. I have the video of it where the thing breaks down. He goes, I'm going to use the force. And he hammers the machine and everyone cheers. And that was very fun.
All right.
Gonna say also voiced by
Oh, right.
Paul Rubin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pee Wee
Yeah, even
Herman
the-
voiced him.
Even the DJ version.
Wow.
Yeah.
He
He came back and did it.
Did,
Yeah.
did it, yeah.
Pee Wee Herman can still get work.
Yep, apparently. As long as they use Rex.
Did you know this, though, that his spaceship has crashed outside of the one at Hollywood Studios, but not the one at
No.
Disneyland?
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
that's a
notice
different
that.
that area is different, isn't it? Yeah.
It's kind of right on the transition to
Toy Story.
Toy Story Land, yeah. His spaceship crash.
That's
site.
a story anyway. I don't know if it's
But that's one detail that is not at the Batu
Batu West, I love
version, the Disneyland version. Yeah.
It's always interesting in the Star Wars universe how most planets are reduced down to a single city, but
Yeah.
it's what it is.
I mean,
And a single climate too. It's like this planet has a uniform climate. It is all
This
desert.
planet, yeah,
or
this planet is a
all lush.
rainforest.
yeah,
all ice,
yes,
all salt.
that's how it works. Also, there's supposed to be how many suns? I've never seen but one sun on Batu, so I
There's
don't know
supposed
where
to be
the
two.
second sun is.
Is there supposed to be two on Batu though? Are you
Bright
sure?
suns.
Oh, true.
That's what
That's
they
right.
say.
They say bright suns.
Well, you're
Anyway.
not supposed to look at the sun anyways.
Sure.
Well, I mean,
Only
now,
in an eclipse.
Now that Din Djarin has showed up, I mean, it's totally ruined anyway. So
Sure.
So, and then we wrapped up the day with some dinner, which we did ABC Commissary,
nice.
Okay.
How was it?
and
Decent.
it was good. I got what Neil got, which was
Barbecue,
really good.
it was like
and I
a-
can't
no,
even
it was
remember
a-
what it was.
Quesadilla.
It was a chicken quesadilla, but it was like spicy. It was like a buffalo. There we go.
Yeah, like a buffalo
It was good.
chicken.
It was solid.
Oh,
It
okay, I
was-
think
you
I've
know,
had
we
that.
were,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wasn't super hungry, but was like, we need to eat something.
I'll have another beer then too.
Yeah, I think we did. You're
Yep.
right.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. You know, that was our drinking day. We just kept it going. And we did the 10:30 p.m. Phantasmic, which I think
Wow.
I want to hear.
Well, we did
y'all,
the
because
11
you got to
p.m.
really experience
Phantasmic.
it.
Yeah,
You-
Celia tells the story very well, so I'll
Basically,
let her
as
take
always.
it.
So we
I
get
know
there
the
at
midnight
10:30.
They-
Phantasmic is beginning. It's starting to begin, and then you hear the music. Dun, 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 you hear the lights, everything, and the spotlight hits the stage, and there's no Mickey. And then it's like Phantasmic is paused, and so we're all sitting there. People start doing the Macarena to pass the time. Then they started again. 15 minutes later, Phantasmic, ladies and gentlemen, Phantasmic will begin again. Dun, 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 starts over again. Mickey's there. He's giving it his all.
Wow.
He is like showing off. He's nailing the moves because he's got to make up for lost time. And then when the projections start, all of a sudden the lights come back on the audience. Say, ladies and gentlemen, Phantasmic is paused. But the best part
Oh no.
was another 10 minutes go by, and there was a moment where we hear, everyone's kind of looking around. Some people are starting to leave, and we hear, ladies and gentlemen, Phantasmic will continue to be delayed.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
Like
they
they
teased
It
teased
was so good. But everyone had so much hope, and within about 5 minutes, it started again. And they didn't start from the beginning this time. This time they started from the Lion King light up. Like literally, just the lights came on, and all of a sudden there were just animals everywhere, all lit up, dancing. The rest of the show went off without a hitch.
Wow.
It was very fun, though. I mean, also still very impressive because they've been doing this show for so long, and it's still so Phantasmic. Very good.
Yeah.
It's Phantasmic.
It was gone for a long time.
Really?
During COVID.
That's
so
cool.
we're glad it's back at least.
Well, we had tried to see it when we were in Disneyland too, but it was there's no seating there. In Hollywood Studios, you have a whole amphitheater, but
Right.
Not much.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
you won't see it now.
yeah.
Not right now.
When
But
did that happen?
Not
The
currently.
dragon caught on fire, right?
it was not long ago
Yeah, a month or so
a month
ago.
ago.
Yeah. couple months
It's
ago.
not been long.
when Maleficent went up in flames.
So it was probably like what, almost
Yeah.
midnight.
Yeah,
by
we
the
didn't get
time
back till
Phantasmic was
1.
over. Like I don't even remember.
Wow.
So I do. I think it finally started at 11:30 or maybe 11:15.
11:30.
That's pretty late.
Wow.
We waited it out.
Wow.
We waited it
I'm
out.
glad we saw it
We saw
too.
it.
It was totally worth it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that was a full day. I mean,
Yeah.
we went through one day. That's 2 parks. So the only things you missed that may have been on your list, Soarin', and we
Mm.
didn't do Sunset Boulevard. We didn't do Tower or Rockin'. But otherwise, I think you got all the high points of
think
Yeah,
so.
parks.
I missed Rocket, but it was we couldn't go on it if we
It
wanted.
was down, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is Rocket still down?
It's back up now. It was on a soft reopen while we were there. So
Right.
there was no lightning lanes. We would have had
That's
to
fine.
stand by it.
Right.
We don't do lines, not anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, this would be a good spot to pause. And you maybe, Celia, do you want to tell people some cool stuff?
Sure.
You want to do a live read? Both Celia and I work at Greenlight, and there is an interesting promotion that's coming out right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
That actually the winner will get a trip to Disney World. So
Well,
what do we have to do
to
again?
enter to win, you have to join Greenlight or be on the Infinity plan, which is our plan that features safety functionality for your family. And you have to activate your family location sharing so that you can share each other's location while you're wandering around the parks. So even if someone wanders off and wants to go to Snow White while someone else goes to the Cinderella's castle, you can keep track of everybody in your family. So to enter to win, gotta upgrade to the Infinity plan and activate your family location sharing. And then you win a No, you can't
but
win.
I can't win.
But we're trying to convince them to invite you along for the ride, so you can give them the VIP tour experience too.
Oh wow, that
So
would be
it's-
a really good bonus.
It would
to
be.
have
It would be. I
Jason
kid you.
with you.
Yeah, as it's a. I think
Yeah.
the prize is. I think it's a 4 or 5 day experience. Genie passes, 5-night Polynesian.
5-night,
Yep.
5-night at the Poly.
Nice.
5 nights at the Poly.
It's
Yes.
going to include a
Wow.
dining
Mhm.
plan too.
And I got to help set the whole thing
Nice.
up, so I was advocating for all.
Oh wow.
I really want to win. Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Oh, really?
This is one of the.
You're like,
Yeah, I
I
was
want
like, what
Poly.
does
I
my
want
dream
the-
vacation look like? And so I made that the contest. But I unfortunately as well cannot enter.
Yeah.
So it's
That is one of
To
the slogans
infinity
in our
and
marketing
beyond.
emails.
They should send you guys on a trial like run to like make sure it's good for
right. You have to
Yeah.
test the
Yeah.
vacation.
right.
We don't want anybody getting
Well,
a
I
bad
think
vacation.
I will go and give the tour to whichever lucky family wins. And, Celia, you can go and give them magical green light experiences like free swag and stuff like that.
Kids
as
can use
they
their
go
debit
throughout
card
their
anywhere in the
tour.
park,
Nice.
There you go.
That's right.
Except the
Except
baseline.
the baseline or La Cava, like yeah.
But the family cash card
Yeah,
works
you
there
were
'cause
pulling
I
that
use
thing
it there
out
all the
going
time.
3%, baby.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. That is
Yeah.
nice to get that 3%.
So I guess Adam and John, you are eligible since you don't work there.
It might seem biased though if we actually won. Wouldn't that seem a little odd, right?
It might seem a little odd.
Seem like, oh, Jason's the one pulling
what I
the
was telling
numbers here.
Jason, I was
pulling
Wait,
like-
who's it's probably going to be my team that figures out the winner. So that might
Yeah.
yeah,
It
little
might be
conflict of
convenient.
interest here, possibly.
It was like 5 minutes after he mentioned this contest that I got the email about it. It was like 5 minutes later.
Tricky.
Suspicious.
yeah,
You can sign up at
And
greenlight.com.
Where can we sign up?
green.
That's right.
But yeah, the second day was Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. So you got back to your room late. I got back to my tent site. I thought it was going to be super late. Like I said, all the kids were still scootering about. But by the way I got back that night is I had to get a lift back to the Epcot parking lot because I was
Right.
over there. So, but I mean, that lift
Yeah.
was like $6 to get there.
Right.
It was
Oh, wow.
nothing.
A minivan would have been like $53.
Just to go to the front of Epcot.
right.
Well, so we did do a minivan later. It was
Yeah, okay. I
It was
gotta
an
hear about this
experience.
minivan.
It was delightful.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Delightful experience, actually. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
So it's
I love
sure.
it.
It's just
Was it
so
worth the
it's
price?
like 3-4
Was it worth
times
the
as
price?
much
We
as a
split it. Yeah.
lift.
I did it twice, and I think it
Ah.
was worth it for what when we did
Yeah,
it.
it was like
the
the
right
perfect time to use it.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. We can talk about it when we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll just go ahead and skip to the fact that I used it again by myself at the end of the night out of Magic Kingdom.
Oh, it's
Or
great
well, it
out
wasn't
of
out of
there.
Magic Kingdom. It was out of
Oh,
we were
yeah.
at the
Oh,
Poly at the very end of the night. I needed to get back to my campsite, and it was like midnight. And so I ordered a minivan because what it did is if I would have taken a regular lift, they would have dropped me off at the front of Fort Wilderness, and I would have had to take a bus back into my campsite or whatever.
That would have been a
But
while.
with the minivan, they drove me right up to my tent and dropped me off.
Nice.
Oh, dang.
So like they
Yeah,
were
that
able to
is
go
nice.
go in. They're like, "Where's your tent?" They like just pulled up.
That's
I got
That's
out,
worth
go.
it.
Yeah, that
So-
was that was
Okay.
a long day. This is another
That's
long
worth
day.
the
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Magic
Totally.
Kingdom is definitely the exception, though, right? I mean, that's probably the best case scenario to use a minivan because of where they drop you off.
Oh yeah.
Mm. Oh yeah.
So it was awesome. So the next day, another full day. So we're gonna get some reactions. Let's see if we can fit it all in. I think I counted not just attractions, but everything we did. We ended up doing like 20 plus things on this next day. Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. So it was a little bit harder for you to get to Magic Kingdom. We did not
Right.
quite make rope, but that's okay. I had warned y'all there was going to be a meltdown, and I think you got it over
Yeah.
early.
I think it was I don't know. It might have been me.
There's only
Our lift, the lift app glitched. It said that we were. I scheduled my pickup, but somehow I scheduled my pickup. Either it glitched or I was so delirious from the day that I scheduled the pickup to pick us up from Epcot to take us to Magic Kingdom instead of from the hotel. And then when I tried to reset it, it still said I was at Epcot.
I did it too, and it was like saying that we were in Hollywood.
We were like, you're not there.
Anyway,
but we figured it out. We
got
manually typed in the hotel address instead of the current location, which was not Epcot, and we made it there by what time? Probably 8:45. So we missed like
It's like a half hour later.
we were planning for 8:15.
Yeah,
I think we got there at 8:45.
Yeah. By the time we got in, they were doing the show, the welcome show, so the 9 o'clock welcome show. So you got to walk up Main Street and see Mickey and Minnie and all them. Like, this is gonna be the best day ever.
It is like right as you're walking in, and we all got to go. Let the magic begin, and it started. It began for us.
Nice. And
Yeah.
Jason, did you take the boat?
I took the boat over, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which
Just
is why
curious.
I had to end up taking that minivan at the end of the night.
Right.
'cause
That's what I thought. Okay.
I was like, where would I park? Right? Like, it's any better than,
Not anymore.
So we were gonna rope Peter Pan, because I thought, I asked y'all, did you want to, because I had a lightning lane for it. And I was like, do you want Peter Pan first or Jungle Cruise? And you told me at Disneyland you'd done like Jungle Cruise like 5 times. So
Yeah.
you were good
There's
on the
no
Jungle
wait
Cruise.
there
Yeah.
for it. You literally walked on. So
Nice.
I was
Yeah.
shocked to hear that Jungle Cruise is one of the most popular rides in Disney World.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite rides. But yeah,
You
we
can
did, we
thank The
did it
Rock
so
for
many
that.
times. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we had a 9 a.m. Peter Pan, and I didn't notice as we were walking over there, my lightning lane converted and Peter Pan had a delayed opening. And it actually didn't open till like after 3 p.m. that day. So
Oh, wow.
What?
yes,
Interesting. It happens.
it happens. So I guess we went straight over. We did teacups. We did stop by the teacups, which was awesome. We all three went in a teacup together.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Number
okay.
one thing to start the day with after you spend a full day drinking.
Like, let's do the teacup. It did wake me up, I would say.
It was fun.
It was
we
very
had a lot
fun.
of fun. And that was this was your anniversary day too. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow.
And I was like, let's do that same day yesterday again. I was like, let's get to
Yeah.
see all the things we can see.
And we did.
Yeah.
I was
Uh-huh.
ready.
Nice.
And then after teacups, we had a virtual queue for Tron, and we got there right before the virtual queue really backed up. So we breezed kind of through
right.
the virtual queue for Tron. And I'd also gotten the lightning link for Tron because usually the virtual queue is terrible. You saw when we
Yeah.
got off. You saw how long
Slow.
it gets.
Oh, it was
It's-
crazy. It was like
It
8
is
times as
slow.
long.
Yes.
We walked.
But we got off Tron and got to get right back on it. So we rode it 2 times in a row because you have to ride it twice for it to be the length of a regular ride.
Yeah.
So
Basically,
It was
yeah.
definitely
So
a
short.
ride to ride twice. I wanted to ride it immediately again.
Well, and the second time, Jason told us we could put our hands in the air, and we were actually just perfectly safe. We didn't have to hold on for dear life.
Just
It was
like
very fun.
we
not
did
being
the
attached at all.
inside.
Yeah.
Right.
So cool.
It
That
is
was
fun.
fun. So we did that. The lockers worked fine for us. All of that. We tried the dumplings, which again is becoming a new must stop for me because it's like one of the better snack places I think at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. The buffalo one, right? That's
the
better
one I
one.
like. Y'all got the beef and broccoli. I got the buffalo chicken.
Yeah.
This was good
It
too.
was okay. It wasn't bad.
Really?
Oh, I like
Yeah.
it.
After that, we had a lightning lane for space, but it wasn't quite time yet. So we went and rode the Carousel of Progress, which
Oh, wow.
That was fabulous.
I know
We're
everybody
still
liked that
quoting
a
it.
lot, yeah.
No.
The
Really?
final scene. Yeah, we think
Nice.
it's hilarious. The husband's like, "What are you doing over there, wife? Oh, you're working on stuff again." She's like, "Yes, John, I am." It's great. And then,
Woman in this
yeah.
century.
Yeah.
But the end scene where they have the grandmother doing the virtual reality, I was like, this was literally this past Christmas. My cousin, who was like 12, had a VR headset. My grandma sat down. He put the VR headset on my grandma. She's like, "It looks so real. I'm getting points." I was like, "What is happening?"
Turkey, and it was like the same scene.
It was
Yeah.
during a
It
different
was great though.
time period they were showing
If they
it.
ever update it, it'll be one of those Apple things. They just announced next.
I'm surprised they still have like the smoking. There was like, I'm like, oh, everyone's got a cigar in their hand in this show. Like, I'm like, I don't know if that's aged very well.
well,
Different time, Neil.
Time, I know.
Yeah.
It's a good show, though.
then we got to go to Space Mountain. Again, another one where I think you really appreciated the lightning lane because you got to walk and walk and walk and walk. And as you were walking, there were people to your left.
Really?
And we just
Right.
kept going all the way up to the front of the line. And space was it as good as you remembered? I mean, it's not hyperspace, which means it's better, honestly.
It was
Okay.
way better than the hyperspace one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
the hyperspace. I feel like this is
But
like
of
a cheap repaint of this great ride that had charm.
Yeah, I felt the same way too when we were in California and did the hyperspace one.
So I really liked the Space Mountain a lot better, and I think it's just a great, fantastic ride.
Well, hyperspace puts the Star Wars stuff all over it. Which
There's like they like randomly just have.
And then there's like blaster noises everywhere when you're in it. It's like not pleasant.
Just chaotic.
It's not even that it's chaotic. It just feels like cheap.
Feels painted on, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
They have like little Admiral Akbar thing being like, "Oh, it's a trap." Like you like fall. Like it's like, come on. Like it's so. Oh,
Nice.
it was bad. Yeah.
the only overlay I have yet to do on Space Mountain at Disney World that I want to do is what they do during the Halloween party.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Halloween party, they turn off the stars and everything. It is pitch black in there during the Halloween
that's cool.
party. And so I really want to do that.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Wow.
I actually got to do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more intense, right? Wait,
Well,
care to
I mean,
elaborate?
the darkness, not being able to see, it kind of just, it further increases the sense of motion, right? Because you don't know which way to, you really can't, it's hard to prepare with the regular version, but you really can't prepare for what's coming next.
Right.
With it totally dark, so.
Yeah, like the totally dark version. So, all right. So we did a couple of Tomorrowland rides. Unfortunately, People Mover was a bit long, so we did not get to fit in the People Mover.
It's
a little
travesty.
sad.
And that line looked brutal. It was like an hour.
It was sad. But Neil, you were insistent. You were very sad that at Disneyland you didn't get to ride Pirates because it was under refurb, and it was one of your favorites.
I was super
Man.
sad. Anyway.
Yeah.
And so we made it a point after Tomorrowland to beeline over to Pirates of the Caribbean and get that ride in. And was it everything you hoped for? And
Yeah,
more?
yeah, I loved it. Yeah, that's great.
No other.
Another Disney magic moment. I didn't even know that boat was even in the ride.
Yeah.
Like the first.
Yeah, he'd never been out before. Period.
No, I thought you were just going through like the city of Tortuga. You're just seeing stuff. So I was like, "There's a ship." And like no one. I mean, it's my favorite movie of all time. And I had no idea
really?
that boat was.
I think your jaw dropped to the same level that it dropped when we were in Guardians when you saw that shift when it turned the corner, which was delightful to watch.
Interesting.
After the drop, and
Nice.
you saw Barbosa or whatever up there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I just love those. I just love those movies, especially the first one. So it's just I just
course.
really enjoyed the ride. It was great.
Cool.
We also did Swiss Family Robinson before that. That was fun
Oh
too.
yeah, I forgot we climbed the treehouse. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't barely remember that, but yeah, it's almost
I always loved the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse because I love Swiss Family
Yeah.
Robinson.
There you go.
I was insistent that we do the tree.
Yeah.
And I may or may not have been trying to keep track of time. And we walk out of Pirates, and we had our next lightning lane for Thunder. And I timed it such that we would get off of Pirates just before noon. And we walked up to the Frontierland where the parade starts as the first float was coming out of the gate. It was
Yeah, that was pretty magical. It was
Good
pretty
timing.
like, oh, Jason, you don't really know what you're doing here. Like,
It was
Good timing.
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no
so
one
I've never
there.
actually watched the parade from there. So to see it right out of the gate, because like the parade starts at noon and everybody lines up in Main Street for it at noon, but it takes it like 30 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it moves quite slow. So we got to see the very beginning of it.
Yeah, and it wasn't overly crowded there either because no one was there.
There.
Yep.
Mhm.
That finished, we were able to go right over to Thunder, go through the Lightning Lane, ride Big Thunder. You had ridden Big Thunder at Disneyland, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's just a
do you
classic
have a
ride.
preference, or do you
I
remember?
feel like those were almost the exact replica. Yeah.
Same track to track. Yeah.
They're more similar than some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I didn't see, what was it? We
Not
saw
identical.
some kind of tourist thing of the goat that has the dynamite stick, but he wasn't on the ride. I couldn't find
Yeah.
him. Is he there?
He's not. Yeah.
He's
the
not there.
Disneyland has the better goat.
Oh, he was a Disneyland goat. I was like, I know I've seen him before.
Yeah.
And that's where you're supposed to do the goat trick, right?
Right. Yeah. You get a weird runner's high. if
I guess
you
that's where you're
stare at
supposed to
the goat.
get buzzed.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
From the
you're supposed
goat.
to stare at the goat even as the car turns, and it messes with your head.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Good to know.
Ah.
I'm too old for that now, though.
So then I guess if I had to say
Okay.
that Disneyland is my preference because it has the better goat, you know.
Yeah, it does.
It also has the like explosions, right?
Oh, yeah, it
does have that
now.
that was
Yeah.
different then.
Uh-huh. You know what this one had different was it had the bat cave.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Disney World has the big loud bat cave when you
Oh, very loud.
When you
Henry?
first start.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Very loud.
That wasn't interesting.
Yeah. And then we ate at one of your favorites, Adam, Pecos Mills. No topping bar still.
He's
Yeah,
like,
no.
oh, yeah, it used to be. Is
I mean, it's a go-to, but it's not like I have to go there. It's just, it's
I
Magic Kingdom.
had to eat there
There's-
before it becomes Tiana's Foods. So, you know.
I mean, I'll probably like it better, Tiana's Foods, but
I mean, the
It's
food was
good.
passable there, right?
yeah,
Like, it was
it's
fine.
good. It's solid. It's decent, quick service.
Solid, quick, yeah.
We got a nice free refill, which apparently isn't a normal thing to get.
We're allowed to get one,
Nice.
and they were nice. And
They saw our buttons that Jason secured us. Said it
Right,
was our
yeah.
flavor after.
Gotta
That
have
was
the
helpful.
buttons. Yes, that
Yeah.
does help.
At one point during Epcot, I disappeared for a minute, and I think they thought that I had left them, and then I showed back up with buttons.
Oh,
we
cool.
have the yeah,
Right.
We're like, wait, where did he go?
Gotta
It's
do it.
happening.
he's gone.
So we did that. We went over to, I guess that's when we did Haunted Mansion next, right?
We did the Country Bears, my friend.
Oh yeah, I forgot we did the
Yeah,
Lest
Country
we
Bears
forget.
first.
Classic. Another
Oh,
classic.
man.
That's one that I had no expectations going in, and was like, I was like looking at Celia and Jason being like, what, like, are they really saying that right now?
Yeah.
What am, what am I
Hey, and
witnessing?
this is the watered down version. You didn't even get to see the full version.
Yeah, but still, it's a lot of the original show is still there.
It's just cut down to what, about 3 minutes worth of it's cut out, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's still, yeah. It just has to be experienced. It's
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. It felt like a must. Kind of. We were here. We gotta just
We
see
were
this.
singing it for the rest of the day.
We were.
yes,
Yeah.
right.
Well, out of all the guys that turned me on.
Turn me down. Yeah.
Yeah. Blood on the Saddle, classic.
Blood on the Saddle is my dad sang it a lot. I just you just start breaking out. I was like, "This is my dad's song." He was
like,
like,
I
"What's
got
wrong with your
Big
dad?"
Al.
It's like that's the one. Like
Yeah.
that's the one song I can play on the guitar.
Yeah, it's pretty. Anybody can play that.
I think after
Uh,
that we went to Animal Kingdom. Right?
That's when we
Yeah.
went to Haunted Mansion after that one.
No, Haunted
Okay.
Mansion was the very end of the day.
Oh, was it?
We intended
why-
to go, but then
Did you
we.
come
Oh,
back?
yeah, that's right.
I think
was
we
gonna
did
say-
go to Animal Kingdom after that.
I get
didn't we?
ripped down.
Did you
maybe, or
sustain a
something.
head injury?
That's right, because we were supposed to go to Haunted Mansion. It was broken down, and I said, okay, let's move to Animal. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Uh,
I can't even
And
remember
we-
my own
we-
trip anymore.
We took so
They
we
all
went to
blur
the
together.
bus to go to Animal Kingdom, and that was probably the longest wait we had the entire trip. Was just waiting for the bus, which was pretty long. I mean, we were waiting for a good half hour for the bus.
Which it was leaving right as we got pulled up, as we got up there.
oh,
And-
right.
Oh, that was that's always that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was explaining to Neil minivans, and he was like, well, that's an outrageous price. And after we had waited for the bus, he was like, well, coming back, we're going to pay that price. 'cause
Yeah,
that was-
yeah,
Sorry,
absolutely.
don't want to wait anymore.
Because we were like to get from there to there, it took us like an hour between the waiting and the driving. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
But it was good that we got the bus, actually, because I got a nap, a much needed nap. We sat at the
sounds I also
very
took a
back
nap.
of the bus.
Celia also napped. Yeah.
We were in the back of the bus, and I got to lean my head back, and there
King
was
of
the
the
air
bus.
conditioning right there, and it was white noise, and I just
Little
put my
power nap.
sunglasses on and just closed my eyes. And I remember we pulled up to Animal Kingdom, I sat up, and I'm like, y'all ready to go?
Jason slept on the Skyliner, so yeah.
Yeah, I took a nap on the Skyliner once. That was fun.
That'd be a good nap.
That would be a good nap.
Yeah.
Rock you
Sleep
to sleep
anywhere.
a little bit.
So we go to Animal Kingdom, right? Yeah, and
Yeah.
you wanted to sort of see it all, so we go to the right. We start on the right. We head to Dinosaur first. You got to see Kevin, the bird.
We did.
That was really cool. I think that was a really well done character.
Mhm.
It felt
Mhm.
that felt like a little Disney man. I could see it was sort of the kids were so excited, and it was like really cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dinosaur was fun. I did not let you ride Triceratops Spin because that ride
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I remember you
Didn't
saying
let
that.
you say.
Triceratops don't fly.
Yeah.
They-
That's exactly my
They are.
argument.
Well, elephants don't either, but
They do
In
in
the
Disney.
movie-
Dumbo
Dumbo.
does.
Right, Dumbo. It does make sense.
But there's only one Dumbo, and there's like 12 Dumbos on that ride. So
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Splitting
At
hairs.
least there's
Splitting
a,
feathers.
at least there's some explanation. Astro orbiters,
Right, right.
they fly. Carpets fly. Dumbo flies.
Triceratops.
Triceratops
Never have
firmly
flown.
on the ground. Always on the ground.
Even in Disney movies.
Yeah.
Right. True, I guess. Good point.
Yes. So we did not ride that. We went over and did Everest, right?
course.
So
That's a
Um,
great ride. That was
it
nice.
is.
I think that's like was my second favorite. I
Mhm.
think.
Second
Right.
favorite. Behind.
God, Guardians.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Just had to
yeah.
hear
So
that.
this is another debate that we have on the show:
John's.
is
I'm
Guardians
loyal
or
to
Everest
I'm
better?
loyal. Excuse me. I'm loyal to Everest.
Yeah.
I was originally an Everest loyalist, but after like 2 rides on Guardians, I moved over.
Very quickly.
Yeah,
I was immediately Guardians.
because I didn't tell you about the track switch or any of it. I didn't spoil any of it for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew a little bit just from like reading things, but it kind of like catches you off guard in the ride regardless. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm also a loyalist to Everest because it looks like it's going to be the last original idea that Disney is ever going to make. This non-IP.
Yeah.
Well, are they going to make a movie about Everest at some point?
Hey, that doesn't matter now.
They've got another Haunted Mansion movie coming out. What is this, the third one? There was a
No,
Muppet one.
It's like a restart, basically. It's like a
Yes.
reboot.
I'm
'Cause
really
there's an
excited
Eddie
about
Murphy version of it.
Yeah.
There is a Muppet version of it that came out
Oh,
a couple years ago.
yeah. The
Mhm.
Muppets. I don't think that's different. I think. I don't think it's.
it. Yeah. And so we did Everest. Then we did. We walked and we got like a drink and some snacks and some stuff like that as we walked over and did the safari.
Mhm.
I got us a lightning lane for the safari, but when we got over the safari, it was a 20-minute standby line. Like, but we had a pretty decent safari, just no elephants, I would say, right?
Yeah, we
That
saw
was
a
our
hippo
week.
out of water though, which was the exciting thing.
That's
Huh.
the first time I'd ever seen a hippo out of water on
Me
any
too.
of my rides of that ever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Eating the
What
grass.
about the lions? Were they sleeping?
Sleeping.
It's on his
sleeping.
rock.
Usually.
I've always.
Occasionally
they
they're
do.
up.
That was a news story for this week. One of the white rhinos passed away last week. One of the long-standing ones. But there's also a few new births as well. Not a rhino, but I forget which animals were born.
Gosh,
But
yeah.
you know,
We saw the giraffe giving
the
birth
giraffe being born
on
yeah,
the safari. Yeah, that was
a
interesting.
that was a
It made us
memorable
be
day.
quiet as we drove by.
Yeah.
It was weird.
So we did safari, and then of course we went to Pandora, where we had purchased, or I purchased at the beginning of the day, the lightning lane for Flight of Passage. Which
Mm.
when we were walking through, I think they had it posted at like maybe 60 or 70 minutes out front. I think walking through it was probably a 45-minute standby line. If we would have actually stood in it, it was not that long.
Not terrible.
They had a little bit of a breakdown at first. They're like a little delay, and then we were able to get right on. So what were your thoughts on that? That was another one that I thought could be in the running for top.
That was probably my second or first favorite, just for the uniqueness of it. I'd never
Mm.
been on anything like that before. And the fact that it made it feel like you were moving so much, even though you were just literally, stuck to the ground, was very cool.
I thought just the water tech was. She, I guess, didn't get any spray or anything.
Yeah, I think my
thought
spraying was
the
broken.
ocean spray that I got just felt like the ocean, and I thought that was like, whoa, like how did you do that?
It's a very immersive experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the detail of the thing in between your legs, kind of like flapping against you. That was cool.
Mhm.
Like that's a
Breathing.
nice. You didn't have to do that, but they did it and it works, which is great.
That's
A
show
couple of
ready
years
for
ago,
you.
it was our best thing at Disney World, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was our favorite.
It usually, when I take people around, that usually at least one person, it's their favorite thing at the end
Yeah.
of a trip. That's usually a highlight. Then we did Lightning Lane for Navi River Journey, and I think you're going to find an ally on this one here, Adam, from
Yeah.
as well. Because we liked it, but you had a comment about how long you would wait for that ride.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I think it was like a cool. It's really like, hey, do you want to see the best animatronic ever? That's the ride.
And do you
That's it.
also want to
Like-
kind of like feel like you're taking a nice nap meditation
Yeah, like-
experience while on a ride?
Wait a long time for that. I think I'd be really disappointed if we.
That's actually a good point. It is like a meditation ride.
Yeah, it was a very
Pretty
nice
much.
like end of the day kind of, oh, I feel very zen now. Okay, it's kind of like nice blues. It's very calming.
And the
It
song.
kind of reminded me of the
Yeah.
the Donald Duck ride.
Grand Fiesta Tour.
Honestly, yeah, like it's the same kind of like
Pandora's version of Grand Fiesta
it's
Tour.
just like chill. There's a song or
Yeah.
two.
I
get that.
I think they
I
do
mean,
an excellent job of creating the environment with that.
yeah.
It's just like it goes nowhere. It's like you feel like when
Yeah.
it's all said and done, it's like, what did
Too
I
short, too.
experience?
That's right. It's
Yeah,
like
right.
it's
Like a story with it,
Yeah.
or an end, beginning or end.
especially after coming off a flight of passage where you're already immersed in the world, and then you
Right.
go there and you're like, okay, now I'm just still immersed in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
But the animatronic was very impressive.
Oh, it's so cool.
There is a B mode for that sometimes happens.
I
What is
That's
really
where
disappointed.
they put a screen up.
It's, I'm
just
gonna
on a
say
screen.
almost all
in
B
front
moves
of
now
it.
are screens.
Oh, that
Mhm.
would be so sad, especially if you
Clio.
waited for 2 hours or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's like the
Ah,
biggest deal
yes.
to it. I feel like. But,
Or 90 minutes, which
Yeah.
Jason made me do once.
The kids
A
really
long time
wanted it.
ago.
The
a long
queue is
time ago.
horrible.
Yeah,
It
it's
really
the,
is.
It's the worst.
It's just
yeah.
not much. It's one of the
There's-
worst.
yeah. Anyway,
But
At least
then
it has
we went-
shade.
not my
You
favorite.
know, you needed an anniversary dinner. So we went to a Nomad Lounge for that. And
yeah,
it
that was super cool.
I remember we sat down and Neil was like, I think I'm gonna order 2 drinks here. I'm like, live it up, man. Let's go.
Do it.
I just remember being so excited about the chairs. I was like, look at how cush these chairs are. This is gonna be a great time.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I
were one
love
of the
it.
indoor like chill
Yeah.
tables. That was
Yeah.
nice.
It's a great place. I can't wait to go back there.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So
My
so
drink
good. I
had
got
the
tempting
glowing-
tigress.
Yeah.
Yeah. You,
Yeah.
you got the one with the lotus flower.
Yeah, I
right?
didn't know. I thought it would just be like a flower, but it was a light up, like changing. It was great. I still
Oh,
have it.
nice.
Not to put a damper, but I would not order off menu. I feel like my head was like, like I would have much rather had one of those.
But your first thing you had was great.
Yeah,
I loved it.
The first thing I had was awesome.
You had the coffee. It was hot, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
You got a hot coffee liquor drink.
yeah, it was good.
Interesting. Cool.
So we did that. Was starting to get close to closing time. We get the minivan over to Magic Kingdom, and you sort of mentioned that. Is there anything you want to add to that other than what you haven't said for that?
Totally worth
experience?
it. The only thing I'll add is that
It's totally worth
it was totally worth it for that particular moment. Trying to get somewhere fast, you've got
Yeah.
it's either get there now, sit in an air conditioned
It's
car,
conditional.
or wait for an hour for a putt
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
where you may or may not be standing.
Mm.
Minivan value is conditional. Let's put it that way.
Mm.
But our
Yeah.
minivan was number 100, and it was the 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
So that was
Right.
very special. So we did
Nice.
I ordered it as we were walking out of Animal Kingdom, and it was immediately already there. And the guy immediately messaged me in the app and said, "Hey, I'm out front. Take your time. I'll be here when you get out of the park."
Nice.
Yeah. That's cool.
And it was just for a reference, since minivan's all about price. Our total, which we split, was like $50 to go from Animal Kingdom to Magic Kingdom.
Right.
And it was like we were also going to arrive maybe about an hour or a little over an hour before the fireworks. So again, a pretty popular time to be going to Magic Kingdom. I think from a minivan standpoint, that's actually not that terrible of a price.
Yeah, when you split
and
it 3
it's a
ways.
20-minute ride, and we paid $20 each for Tron, which is a 90-second ride. So
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Well, I think
Sure.
most people, when they do that, they compare it to a regular lift, and that's where the
yeah.
Right.
But they had little Mickey Minnie cartoons in the car, and they were playing the songs from the park and the soundtrack.
Right,
It was
right.
fun.
Mhm.
And the
They-
driver was very nice, very friendly.
yeah.
Yeah.
They make sure they make it an experience. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So we go back to Magic Kingdom, and I'm like, you want to do a few more things before the fireworks? And so we did. We swam upstream through Main Street, and that's whenever we did our final 2 rides for the night, which we did Haunted Mansion and Peter Pan.
Okay.
Because we had gotten back there, we had our lightning lanes cooked up. Haunted Mansion, I think, only broke down maybe twice or so. I don't know.
It was once in the room with the fortune teller, Madam.
Yeah.
What's her
Madam
name?
Leota.
That's a good place to get stuck.
Pan is fun.
It's super popular. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think Pan is cool. I just don't get why it's so. It's
Why the wait so long?
Well, it's so long because it's low capacity, I guess. But
Yeah,
Part of it, but at least it moves all the time. Not like out in Disneyland.
I know,
Right,
but I
there's
just don't
stuff.
Pan must
understand
be-
why it's so popular.
It's just like so low and like anyone can go on it. I feel like
Yeah,
that's the
you could take a baby on it. You could take
you
a
know?
grandma.
And I mean,
on
you're
it.
flying,
Right.
right? That's one of the original ones that did something like that.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
you're-
And maybe there's a nostalgia element to it too, in some way.
Mm-hmm.
even though it's pretty short too.
It is kind
I
of
love-
cool that you're up above, like up below.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
favorite. Most memorable part is
London.
looking down on London.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my favorite part too.
And Big Ben is to scale in that London scene, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, so we get off of that ride. I think the fireworks were at 9:20 that night.
Mm-hmm.
We get off, and I think it was maybe 8:55 or so is when we got off that. Maybe
Yeah.
almost 9 o'clock. So we go around back through Liberty Square. I take them up past the Hall of Presidents, and we come into the hub. And obviously, the hub is very crowded at this time. They're about to start letting people just stand in the pathways. So this is the part where you saw me on a very big mission. I said, I'm about to go, and you just follow. And I swam through the crowd and got us smack dab center, right, not too far back from the partner statue, center view of
Mhm.
Cinderella Castle. And we only had to stand there for like 20 minutes. We had the perfect view for Happily Ever After.
Yeah, we really
Nice.
did. It was
The
like,
best part, you were like, "Do as I do," and because we were definitely standing in the walking path, like we were outside the tape, but you just looked very confident standing back to the tape. No one questioned it. There are people
Yeah.
left and right being told to go along.
well,
fine.
they were standing, you couldn't see the tape.
That's true.
Back, but you go, what do you mean? Oh,
Yeah, oh, you just
how
do it
you're-
forward.
I can't see the tape where we were,
Yeah.
It was
And
great
nobody put their kid up in front of us. It worked
Yeah.
out really well.
That happens. Mm.
though. Yeah,
Although the lady next to us ruined Tinkerbell for Neil, so
I,
Neil knew
I was
Tinkerbell
so mad that she spoiled it because my jaw would have dropped then. I would have had another magic moment that some
Yeah.
person's flying off
Spoiled
the top.
it.
Yeah, spoiler.
Oh, she said, "Oh, is this your first time?" He said, "Yes," and she goes, "Oh, let me tell you about Tinkerbell."
Yeah, she told me. I was like, oh, it's your first time in
Why?
the show? Oh, you should just wait for this cool thing that you're not going to expect to happen.
Oh
Great,
man.
thanks. Like,
So I say, yeah. It's like, hey, we're about to watch Empire. Hey, you know that Darth Vader is Luke's father?
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, basically, that's basically what happened.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Spoiler alert. Mm.
Yeah. So we did that. We swam right back upstream. I took them on the resort monorail. We went to the Poly. We finished up at Trader Sam's Terrace.
Yeah.
It was a
And
great
that's where we
idea. 'cause
finished
It
the
was
night.
so crowded everywhere. It's like, let's just get
That's
somewhere
Right.
else and have a drink and end the night.
Mhm.
It was
This
fun.
is a go-to for Adam and I as well after post-fireworks. It's the Terrace that we always end up there. So
Yeah.
Yep. It's a good little quiet spot usually. Live music sometimes.
they did have live music while we
Yeah.
were there. It was
It's
great.
nice.
They were good. They were
Yeah,
really,
she
was good.
really good.
Yeah. So would you how would you rate your trip? 10 out of 10?
12
That's
of
what we're
10.
shooting for here.
Yeah. 12
12
parks.
out of 10.
I mean,
No,
Nice.
no, 6 parks.
We did 6 parks, 4 parks, felt like 12 parks. It was great. Yeah.
It was a
Nice.
great trip. Super busy.
We'll never be able to recreate it unless
Yeah,
you're there.
I don't
That's
know.
kind of like how will we ever enjoy Disney again?
That's how we felt. I don't know. How
Oh, it's so great. Yeah, I mean, we would write you a strong review. It was
Nice.
incredible.
Very cool. Glad you
Cool.
guys enjoyed it. Happy anniversary as well.
Thank you.
No,
Again.
thank you. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was great it was good to hang out with y'all. Celia and I had worked together, and mostly it's been in stressful work environments. So it was good to also hang out
Yeah.
in a non-work environment and get to know each other, not in when things are breaking. So that was fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was.
So what was your favorite like place, like lounge or place that you had a drink from,
Oh man,
if you had to rank it?
that's so tough.
I mean, for me, it's just Olga's, like, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a special experience more than
Right.
like a regular restaurant.
Like all factors considered.
It's more than
Yeah.
just like the drink, it's the atmosphere.
I liked the dinner in Animal Kingdom. What was the name of that place location
Nomad
again?
Lounge.
Nomad. I loved
yeah.
that. I think it was also the combination of my feet hurt and I'm sitting down and I'm eating great food. I'm having a good drink and it's air
Yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah.
It's a great vibe.
It's a good spot.
I'm going to go with Epcot and those Impossible beef tips and the honestly, the frozen mint julep we had was like, man,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a good.
That is
Good
good spot
drink.
too.
I would
The Regal
recommend
Eagle.
that to anybody that, especially if it's hot. It was just so.
My two favorite drinks were both lime green. One of them was the avocado margarita, and the
Yeah.
other one was in in Animal Kingdom. I had a margarita that had a little bit of kick to it, a little spice.
Like
Um,
tagine
yeah, tagine, and it was great.
Hmm.
Double the margaritas. If they're bright lime green, I will drink it and enjoy it.
Nice.
There you go.
I like it. Very
Nice.
cool.
Awesome. Well, I guess that probably will do it unless there's any last comments. You know,
No,
you
thank
got
you
your
for just making our trip so magical and great, and just like felt like it was this orchestrated experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for inviting us on the podcast. This is a first
Yeah.
experience for us
yeah.
as a couple
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah. Well, I know you had some prior experience, you know, stage stuff and
Yeah.
voiceover, so I knew you'd be a natural, and it's fun to have you on. We
No,
like
good.
having guests. Breaks up the monotony of just us talking to each other occasionally.
Yeah.
Um,
Very cool.
Well, I think that'll probably wrap up our show. I think we've got a lot of content here. If you want to hear
Good bit.
more about us, where would you find us?
Well, there is Facebook and there's Twitter and there's also Instagram. That's all at TWTM Podcast. We have a Spreadshirt store, which you can get your exclusive TWTM merchandise. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. And we also have a YouTube channel. Where can they find that, Adam?
Our website, travelingwiththemouse.com. You can also email us podcast@travelingwiththemouse.com.
So, for John and Adam, as well as Neil and Celia, this is Jason. This has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we hope you will join us on your next trip.